It's me again.
Oh, look how pretty that is.
Fun stuff.
Look, it's part. Oh, that is beautiful, Chef. Bon appetit. Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. Thank you so much for having us into your home today. And you know, we've had some great guests on the show this season, and today is no exception. I'm thrilled to introduce you to Kat Weathers from Indianapolis, Indiana. Kat, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so glad to have you. She came in to do our chef series last night. We had an awesome time doing that. And we're going to make some great recipes today on the show. Tell us about it.
Yes, we are. We are. So today we are going to be making a Filet Oscar. And a Filet Oscar is kind of like a play on surf and turf. So it's going to be a little petite filet that we're going to saute up. And then we're going to have some lump crab and a Béarnaise sauce on there. So that's going to be a really great technique for everybody to learn. And then we also have a great dessert. So a little peach ice cream, a salted caramel sauce, and Pecan Shortbread.
Well, you knew you were coming to Georgia.
Yes.
Doesn't that sound great, everybody? Well, and in Vera's Corner today, you know, we are celebrating coming up, first time ever, the women's amateur is going to be played at the Augusta National. So we're kind of celebrating women today in golf. And in Vera's Corner, I'm going to show you some unique decorating tips for golf theme events. So, you know, Kat, I know a lot about you, and certainly our folks at Wish TV in Indianapolis know a lot about you. But tell our audience, how did you decide to become a chef?
So I was working on the north side of Chicago at this temp job, and I would go past this Cooking and Hospitality Institute of Chicago every day. And for 4 years, I would every year, about like January, I would call and I would talk to the advisor. His name was Bill, and on the 4th year, he was like, Catherine.
Again, when they call you by your whole name, you know you're in trouble.
He was like, Catherine, this is the last weekend cohort, and you have to decide if you're going to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I enrolled. I didn't know how I was going to get through it, how I was going to pay for it, but I just did it.
Oh, you know what? And maybe that's the female intuition on things that we do, that we just kind of, it feels right, it's in your gut, and certainly you owe Bill.
I
do. You need to go back and thank Bill
wherever Bill is. Thanks, Bill.
So, you know, what kind of got you boost started in your career? Was there any particular moment in your career that you kind of thought, this is it?
Yes. So, well, of course, you know, when I met you in Indy.
Of course.
And coming and working for the Masters, it was on my bucket list. Didn't even know that it was. But we also had an opportunity to, my family, to do a Walmart commercial. And we were walking, me and my young daughter, we were walking out of Walmart, and 2 weeks later, we were filming a Thanksgiving commercial.
I mean,
with all
this is
my
like
family.
reality TV
It is.
almost.
It is. People tell me, like, what? And I'm like, it was a true blessing, I've got to tell you.
Well, and in the end, you ended up being like the producer and the director. They had no idea who they were
idea.
You know, and honestly, that's exactly what happened to the two of us. I walk into this appliance store in Indianapolis. We're there to promote the show and our camp in that area. And this fine lady is preparing food that's
with my daughter, my oldest daughter, again.
You're coming to Augusta. So what has been your favorite event so far?
So far, I would have to say it's the Masters. Coming down here and working.
And just the people and the friends that you made with your team at VeryVera.
Yes, for sure.
You know, part of what you have really kind of entered into is how much the educational part of culinary. Tell us a little bit about that.
So even when I was in culinary school, I was teaching. So I started, my girlfriend, she was like, hey, I have this opportunity to teach these kids healthy cooking techniques. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I started teaching healthy cooking in a little tiny room with about 8 or 9 girls. And we were just in there, we're doing it. And it was for a program on the north side of Chicago called Alternatives. And we blew the power every week. But we did it. The girls had a great great time. I had a great time, and ever since then, I have loved to teach and also like entertain, just the whole thing.
And that's probably another reason why we connect and how you are going to connect with
Yes.
Kat today, because I'm actually going to get busy in another area of the kitchen, because she, coming up after the break, is going to teach us this Oscar
Yes.
beef
Yes.
filet
Yes.
Oscar
So it's
dish.
really learning that hollandaise sauce, one of the mother sauces.
Okay, so come back with us in just a few minutes.
Awesome.
Welcome back, everybody. And if you're just joining us, I'm with Chef Kat Weathers from Indianapolis. We're having a great time already, and she's going to give us a little education on Filet Oscar. And the star of the show is actually the Béarnaise sauce.
Yes.
So I'm going to walk away with these two beautiful fillets and some zucchini and some crab, and I'm going to let you take over.
All right, thank you so very much. Okay, so what we are going to be doing today, we are going to learn one of the mother sauces. And the mother sauce is hollandaise. The derivative of it is the Béarnaise, which we're going to be using for our Filet Oscar. So traditionally when you make a Béarnaise sauce or a hollandaise sauce, you're going to be using a double boiler, but we have this awesome induction burner from Wolf, and so we can do it just directly right on the induction burner. So we're going to go ahead and get that turned on, and we're going to put it all the way on the melting function right there. So what we have here in my pan already, I've got the mignonette sauce. So the mignonette was the reduction. So we made a reduction that has shallots in there, some chopped tarragon, some vinegar, white wine, and some peppercorns. So what we did is we brought that up to a boil, and then we reduced it, and then after we reduced it, we strained it. So when you're reducing any type of liquid, you want to look for some really big bubbles. So the bigger the bubbles, you know that it's reducing, and you know that that flavor is concentrating. So after you've got that, you strain your liquid and you cool it down, and then we're going to add it to our egg yolks. So we've got egg yolks and we've got the egg yolks and we've got that mignonette sauce right in here. So I'm whisking the eggs, and you really want to whisk those eggs so that they do not start to scramble on you. That would not be tasty time. So you want to go ahead and scramble the eggs. I just said don't scramble the eggs. So stir the eggs so that they don't coagulate. And we're just going to wait until it kind of gets nice and frothy and very thick. So I'm just going to keep working that. And you can tell that your eggs are going to be ready when they get very pale yellow. And I'm going to turn this up just by about 1 degree here. They get very pale yellow, and then you can start to see the tracks of your whisk in your saucepan. So just continue to whisk that. And you're cooking these eggs, okay? So you're cooking the eggs so that it's safe to eat, because nobody wants to eat raw eggs. All right, so here we go. We're almost at the point where we're going to add the clarified butter, and let me tell you how you do that. So we've got some really good quality butter. I love to use Kerrygold butter because it's a European butter. It has a high butter fat content and not like a lot of extra water in there. So when you melt the butter and you get all of those milk solids off, you have this liquid gold right here, and this is some beautiful stuff. I could drink it right now. I used to eat butter on saltine crackers when I was a kid, so I love my butter. Okay, so here we go. We are at a good point here. We're going to start to slowly add in our melted butter. And what we're doing is we're creating an emulsion. So we're putting fat in fat. How good is that? It is so good. Okay, so here we go. I've got my egg yolks, and I'm going to steadily, just slowly stream in this melted butter. Now I want to show you something here. So you see on my pan how my eggs were starting to curdle a little bit? You need to get in there and get in this corners, which is why I like this little conical saucier. So I'm just going to clean that up there. And here we go. We're pouring in that butter and whisking constantly. You can already see just by adding a couple of those drops how your hollandaise is starting to get really, really thick. And the reason why this is Béarnaise is because we have the addition of the tarragon. So by all means, if you love this particular dish, but you do not like tarragon because it's a little bit licoricey and sometimes an acquired taste. You can just leave that out and you would still have a Filet Oscar, but just with your favorite sauce. So we're gonna continue to whisk in our melted butter. And you see how thick that is? This doesn't even have cheese in it, but this is a sauce that has like a cheesiness to it. I don't know what it is. It's probably all that good Kerrygold butter. All right, so we're gonna continue to whisk this, and you can see how thick this is getting. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish pouring in all of this butter. And then on the break, we're gonna come back and you're gonna see the finished sauce.
I love celebrating golf, whether it's watching it on TV with friends or getting ready for the golf tournament here in Augusta. Today I'm going to share with you some cute ideas for golf-themed parties. It's so easy to turn regular party foods into golf-themed treats. How about some potato wedges? A bowl of chips can become chip shots. Chicken wings become birdie wings. Find this tent card template on our website. Even your beverages can have cute names. Try some sweet tea with lemonade for an Arnold Palmer your guests will love. Turn regular donuts into hole-in-one. Start by making some golf flags with toothpicks and construction paper. Next, spread some chocolate icing on a glazed donut and dip in green sprinkles. Finish it off with your golf flag. Tee up your cupcakes. Tint some vanilla icing green, then use a piping tip to create the grass of the tee box. Place a tee in the center of the cupcake and top with a white chocolate truffle. Finally, set the scene with some fake grass, golf balls, and flowers that mimic the beautiful holes on some of the world's favorite courses. With a little creativity, any party can go from good to great. Try some of these ideas to make your golf party extra special. Welcome back, everybody. And don't you see what an educator this woman is? Oh my gosh. You know, I was actually just listening. You told me to cut those zucchini into quarter-inch planks.
Yes.
A little S&P on that filet because the Béarnaise sauce was going to be so good. And, you know, just something as simple as looking for the big bubbles to show you when the reduction is just knowledgeable. It just, your adjectives to describe all of the processes were so great.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
You know, we got that going, but I cannot wait for this dessert.
These pecan shortbreads are amazing. I love them so much. Okay, so we have very typical. We've got some butter going on in here.
Room temperature.
Yep, room temperature butter. What's wrong with my speaking today? And we're going to add our granulated sugar and some dark brown sugar as well. And we're just going to kind of break that up in there. Okay, I'm going to give that to you. And then we're going to turn our mixer on. I'm going to lock it into place. Make sure that we don't have this mixer going everywhere. And I'm going to put this on medium speed. A lot of times when people are using their mixers, they're afraid to turn it up. Like, turn it up and let the mixer do its job, okay? So we're going to turn it up and really let that butter and sugar cream. And while that's creaming, it's going to take, maybe about 2 minutes or so of creaming. We're going to put all of our dry ingredients together, and very simply, we've got some salt, and this is kosher salt. I like to use kosher salt as opposed to iodized salt. It doesn't have that chemicaliness to it, and these cookies have like a salty sweetness to it. They're so good. Okay, so we've got this. We're going to stir together our dry ingredients. Now, have you used vanilla bean paste before?
I have, and I can't wait for you to talk about this.
So vanilla bean paste, and the one that I like smell that, it's like vanilla times vanilla. I love it so much. The one that I like is the Nielsen Macy vanilla bean paste because you see those little flecks of the vanilla bean in there, and it's just really going to zhuzh up your cookies, whatever it is.
Well, and that's the thing. Speak to the brands that make a difference in the recipe, and that is certainly
definitely what we want to use so that you can get the taste that we're going for. So we're going to put that vanilla bean paste in there. Now, I have a daughter who likes to put this in the coffee, so I have to hide it.
Oh my God, that's a little expensive for a cup of coffee.
It is, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to give that to you. We're going to use that again. Now, I'm going to turn down the mixer so that we don't have the flour flying all in our space here. And we're going to add the flour to our mixing bowl. Okay, and then as soon as I've got the flour in, I'm gonna add those toasted pecans.
Okay.
And to toast the pecans, you're gonna put the pecans in the oven at 350 degrees for about 6 to 8 minutes, just until you start to smell that little nutty.
Now, don't you get that flour?
I'll wipe my hands
Okay,
there.
let's see how toasted
Toast
these are.
those. Toast good.
Oh.
So good.
Almost makes it a little sweeter.
Yes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the sides here just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to add those pecans, and then once we add the pecans, we're not going to mix it too much because we don't want the shortbread to be tough. Okay,
Right.
If you have too much gluten in there, that's going to make your cookies tough, and we don't want that. Okay, all right, so we've got that going. We're going to add those pecans, and you see, it didn't look like this dough was going to come together, but it comes together in a breeze. See that right at the end?
Oh, wow.
Okay, and that is it. That's it. This is done, so what we have to do, we are going to transfer this to a plastic wrap, and we're going to roll it in a log, and then we're going to refrigerate it so that it firms
Okay,
up.
well, why don't you let me
You
gut
do
that
this,
up,
and then
we're gonna
I am
swap
going
places.
to swap places with you, and we are going to work on our caramel sauce. So we have this salted caramel sauce that's going to go on top of our peach ice cream. Did we talk about that roasted peach ice cream?
Yes, and I can't wait.
It's so good. So when you're making a caramel sauce, it's very simple. So it is sugar and water. And what you're going to do, you put your sugar and your water in your saucepan. And then you're going to bring it up to a boil. And then we're going to turn it down just to medium. Now, your caramel is going to go through these stages. It's very cloudy at first, and then it will become crystal clear, and then you'll start to see some browning on the perimeter there. And once you start to see that browning, then you're going to cut off the heat and you're going to add your cream. If you've ever made caramel before, you know you need a high-sided pan so that you don't get that bubbling all over the place.
Okay, we're going to need to get started on that cream
Yeah,
because
we
we're going
will.
into a hard break.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'm going to just show real quick on the one that we already did.
Yep, so you're just going to cut those.
So it's like 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to keep working on this caramel sauce. You can just be dreaming about it. And then when we come back from the break, we're going to put these little sandwiches together and have quite a golf themed party. So come back with us in just a few minutes. Well, I don't know about all of you, but I've had a great time.
Yes, me too.
Okay, I want you to move here. I've just had the best time today. So, obviously, we have a beautiful spring-looking dinner party. Looks a little bit on the romantic side to me.
It does, doesn't it?
I know. Well, let's walk through what we did today in the presentation. It's just beautiful.
Okay, so we got our grilled zucchini right there on the bottom, so you've got your vegetables there. We seared the steak in a cast iron skillet because I love a good seared steak in a cast iron skillet. And then what we did is we butter basted it, or called rissoles, which makes it just all good and delicious. And then we've got that lump crab on top of there, and then that Béarnaise sauce. And if you don't like the crab, skip it, right?
Oh, wow.
Why? I know.
And you know, this is that's a big portion of everything. So that's amazing.
For sure. And then for our dessert, the piece de resistance. So a little play on what you might find at the Nationals is that peach ice cream sandwich. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it. We've got those roasted peaches earlier that we actually put in the ice cream, and there's some on the plate for the garnish, and then that salted caramel ice cream and that delicious pecan shortbread. Oh my God, that is one of my favorite. Just look at all of the pecans in there. I just love it.
Well, and you know, like you said, I would have really thought that might fall apart. So the cookie is really kind of stable.
It is.
So if you wanted to actually make an ice cream sandwich out of this, you could probably do that for a really unique dessert. And then from a presentation standpoint, we've kind of used the rough edges of a placemat that looks like branches, mossy, the green, the colors of this time of year. Yes. It's just amazing. So in Vera's Corner today, we gave you a lot of tips on how to make something look golf themed. And it's all using things that are kind of store-bought, or that you can pull the template off our website. And you know, coming up, you're taking your vitamins, right? Because you're
I
coming
am,
back.
yes.
This young lady helps us tremendously during the golf tournament. And
it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of
fun.
fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So this is the sort of thing that we do. We bring our area to
Yes.
our customers. And so to serve something like this is very reminiscent of what we serve actually during the tournament to our guests. And these little ideas of making it look nostalgic and bringing in that golf theme, whether it's you doing it while you're watching it from wherever you're watching us today, or whether you want to do a golf theme event, we've got some great ideas for you. And I want to say too, Kat, that you were so good to Emily and I a few weeks ago when we were in Indianapolis. We did an event at Park Tudor School about all the summer camps going on in the area. You treated us to a lovely wine and charcuterie party at your place, and we just loved it. So I hope that all of you will take advantage of learning more about Kat. Her information is here for you to reach out to her. If you have catering in the Indianapolis area, we hope you'll call on her. And then in terms of summer camp, don't forget Park Tudor is going to be going on with the VeryVera camp. And Kat, I say on the VeryVera Show that no matter what you do it in good taste. I hope that you will come back and join us next week, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.